Shane Warne's body is being flown home to Melbourne tonight after an autopsy found he died of natural causes. Shane's 20-year-old daughter Summer has released some personal videos of the time she's recently spent with her dad. Here's a report from Nine's Christina Hearn.
What, were you recording? No. You cheeky little monkey.
Oh my God.
You cheeky little monkey.
That's so...
Friends of the 52-year-old are also struggling to comprehend the enormous loss.
I mean, how do you even confront saying goodbye to him?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it'll be hard. It'll be hard, Carlos.
Friends that were with Shane Warne in Thailand have posted this photo, believed to be the last one taken before he died of a suspected heart attack.
Yeah, the national mourning continues, of course, justifiably so. We talked yesterday about how Warne is the typical Australian larrikin. Well, psychiatrist and commentator Tanvir Ahmed, writing in the Financial Review, summed up some of his cricket strategy perfectly. He said Shane was as much a psychological presence as a physical one, a 21st century bogan incarnation of the ancient Sun Tzu. Tanvir Ahmed joins me now. I love that line, Tanvir, because you talked about it, Shane's mind games in cricket. Warne, we all know what he could do with the ball, but he really got involved in those mind games as a bowler to try and outfox his opponents. And as a psychiatrist, you really appreciated it.
Look, he'd just break people down psychologically, that they were kind of almost sitting ducks. And I wrote the story, Daryl Cullinan, the South African batsman, who admitted that he'd had to see a psychiatrist himself days before one of the big series began. And the first ball he had to, and that was because of Shane Warne, because he kept getting out to his googlies. So the first ball Shane bowls to him in the series, he goes up to him and goes, "I'm going to send you straight back to that leather couch." Like, can you imagine, like any other setting, that'd be called bullying or something these days. But it just shows the sheer presence he had psychologically. And then he can just toy with them. You know, I compare him to a David Attenborough documentary, like his rituals of sort of dominance and just playing with his prey. It was a real sight to behold. So I love that about him, and I think we all love that about him. He was just so mesmerising to watch.
He was indeed. Tanvir, I think the other sort of psychological intrigue about Shane Warne is why he was able to get away with so much. He did things that some people would be ostracised for, but Australians, we all still loved him. Why? Why did he get away with it?
Well, I think one of them was another time. I think he was just so lovable. He was so authentic. I think he did own it. I mean, yes, I think we were willing to accept his flaws because he was so lovable. And, you know, he represented, you know, I guess all our flaws to an extent. As he said, he was an everyman who writ large, who reached the absolute every boyhood's dream of kind of sporting and sexual glory. Now, one point I'd like to make, Chris, which I made in that article, someone who often goes to South Asia having ancestry there, I thought he epitomised, arguably he was one of the key figures that personified Australia. And others have said this. I know Gideon Hayes spoken about this. And I thought he really represented this changing image of Australia. But when I was much younger, Australia sort of had a bit of a backward, uncultured, but sort of lucky country. Yes, we're rich, but we're a bit uncultured. Had that sort of image. Now, it might have been unfair, but in recent decades, I think that's changed. We often hear from critics saying, oh, Australia's seen as racist, etc. That's not necessarily what I've seen. There may be a tinge of that. I actually think the modern image of large parts of the world, certainly the cricketing world, is one of high performance, kind of almost a ruthlessness, but also a capacity to go into foreign environments. And this is what you see at a corporate level, where Australians are known for being global citizens, being able to take on foreign environments. And look at Warne, you know, he's there trying to eat spices at Sachin's house and struggling, but he'll have a go.
Exactly,
but
and he's certainly a global figure and a global citizen.
I think he personified something about Australia, just being high performance, will have a go in foreign environments. And I think our brand really changed partly by the Australian cricket team. They personified it, but no single figure personified it more than Shane Warne internationally.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts with us, Tanvir.
Pleasure.
Tanvir Ahmed on the late, great Shane Warne. Can you believe we're actually saying that?